Okay, question 3b, part 2. Describe how lossless compression compresses the text file. So lossless compression means we're going to get rid of some of the information, but we're going to be able to get it all back afterwards. So we're not permanently deleting any of the information, so we're not losing any of the data. Okay, whereas lossy compression, we permanently lose data, but we're doing lossless compression. Right, so all compression methods use an algorithm, so we can start off by saying that. So use a compression algorithm, and in this case for lossless compression, the compression algorithm will look for patterns in the data, and then we'll try and replace the longer patterns or sequences of data with a shorter pattern or sequence of data. So use a compression algorithm to look for repeating patterns, and we'll give an example, we'll give some context back to the question, because we're dealing with a text file. Well, we can just look for words or phrases or characters that repeat regularly. So for example, words that repeat. So we've given some context back to the question. Right, so let's talk a little bit more about what we're doing here. So what we'd need to do is create an index of repeating words and replace the repeating words with a shorter sequence of characters. So for example, if you had the word the in your index, the would be replaced with, let's say, asterisks. If you weren't using the asterisks in the original text, then you could do that. So essentially that's all you do. You create an index, you take all the words that repeat, for example the or cat, and you just assign them a shorter sequence of characters or just a single character. And as long as that single character doesn't occur in the original text, it's fine. Okay, and as usual with this sort of question, just like with character sets, we can name a type of lossless compression that you might have studied. So in this specification, you're expected to know what we call run length encoding. So run length encoding is just looking for the length of these repeating patterns. So e.g. run length encoding. Right, let's check out the mark scheme for this one. So we've mentioned compression algorithm, we've mentioned run length encoding, we've talked about looking for repeating patterns, things, repeating words or characters. We're okay with that. We've mentioned an index, and we've also mentioned at least one other thing as well. So we're fairly happy with that one. So let's just finish the last one off. Give 2 reasons why the text file may have been compressed. So I mean the main 2 reasons will be either you can store more stuff on your secondary storage device because it takes up less space, or it will send or transmit faster. So let's just pop that in there. Can store more data on secondary storage, and files will send or transmit faster as they are smaller. Let's just quickly check out the mark scheme for that. Save on storage space, so we said we can store more data on secondary storage, and we said that they can transmit faster. And there's also other things as well. You can make it small enough to attach to an email, which sometimes you do need to do that. You need to compress things to make them smaller. Or we've got reduced the bandwidth needed to transmit. So if you were using your mobile phone, you would use less mobile phone data as well. Right, let's stop this one. Thank you very much for listening, and on to the next question.